Hello, guys. Welcome to Crypto Bros podcast again. Today, our guest is NashiSus, an amazing player, very successful one as well. It's 5 a.m. in the morning, so for me, so we're having quite a big gap in the time zones. But if I get a little bit sleepy, Nashi, just wake me up, but I shouldn't. All right. Thank you very much for joining the podcast. It's been a pleasure. I know we've set up the previous meeting like a week ago or something, and we both missed the date. I know you've been busy. I've been a bit busy as well. But I'm glad you made it. Thanks for joining again. So let's crack on. So tell us, who is NashiSus?
Okay, so before joining any Web3 games, I used to be a Web2 pro player, or I would say a esports pro player, for roughly around 5 years. So previously, I was playing a game called Mobile Legends, which was famous more in the regions of Indonesia, Philippines, and Singapore. So at that point of time, I actually went to Indonesia to play my career there. Then subsequently, I went back to Singapore to finish more of my later years of my esports career there.
Okay, nice. So what drove you into Web3 gaming instead of moving from Web2 to Web3?
I think a close friend of mine, introduced me to XC. At the point of time, it was a strategy turn-based game. So it caught my interest, where you had to be strategic, be smart of your gameplay. There's different kinds of skills available, outplaying your opponents. I think this is what caught my interest. I started out well in XC. I was in the top few hundreds. I was in the top 100 actually. But after a few seasons, it started to get expensive to even continue staying in the top 100. So I was thinking, rather than playing the game, it's better to score up. But that's what started out my Web2 journey. But after the whole crash, SLP, the whole SLP crashing and etc., I actually stopped Web2 for a while. It's only recently that when Wild Forest was up, a good friend of mine from XC actually called me to play Wild Forest, which is Stench lah. I think you know him. So that's how I got exposed to Wild Forest.
Oh, that's good. Good, we need more players like you. To be honest, when I look how many trophies you got at the moment, I don't think I'll be able to get anywhere close to it. I think I've got like 3,000, not even that. And I can't even get to top 1,000 now because it's so competitive. I'm just thinking sometimes it's not because of, the problems with gameplay in general. It's sometimes that you have to actually spend some time to get to top 1,000 now, especially when you're starting from the bottom. And I think we have this problem now in Wild Forest where we have the new players joining. And in my opinion, they can be a little bit discouraged by the fact that only 1,000 players got to get something out of the leaderboard at this point. What are you thinking about
Definitely,
this?
I think, yeah, I mean, it's true that new players will find it tough to actually fight for top 1,000, knowing that what they invest might not get what they return. Since I've been saying in the group for quite some time that the only reason why there's no new players at all, there's no new investors, is because Wild Forest tokens are valued at $0. So if let's say if I were to say, hey, Wild Forest is a good game, it looks great, the game is investable, let's put 500 RON to invest in a team. But what do I get from investing this 500 RON is that maybe I might get packs, and these packs will have Wild Forest tokens inside it, but then there's no value to that tokens. So whether this 500 is worth to invest is another story lah. So that's the key issues of why there's no new players and there's no investors, because there's no point of me investing when I don't see any returns of it.
Yeah,
So the only
absolutely.
OG players like us, maybe us, Hybrid, 1437, will only see, oh, okay, we are investing for these tokens, but these tokens is very speculative on how much it might be, how much it might turns out to be. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Because on the end of the day, when you're coming into Web3, you want that ownership and you want something out of the playing. So as you said, investing 500 RON is not a pocket money. It's quite a big amount of money to invest in something that you're hoping to get at least some of it back, or make some kind of return from the investment. But in general, I think I made a proposal about 2 weeks ago about some campaign mode, which could have a good impact. But then I had some good points from Doom, shout out to you, from Diddley as well, and some other guys saying that there might be complications with units on the marketplace and stuff. But what do you think would be the best idea to draw new players into Wild Forest?
I think the key point for players to come in is honestly TGE, like everyone is asking. We need to put value to these coins. Only when the coins do have value, where new players or new investors might see that, hey, if I invest this, I might have this amount of returns. So maybe now is the right time to jump in. So TGE is the most important. After subsequently, the team should come out more rewards for players that who are new to the game. Not necessarily like PvE, but maybe you can reward the top 2,000 or the top 3,000 players being in the leaderboards. Then they can start bringing out other events like maybe LAN gameplay to reward such players. But for now, I think if we want to go there, TGE is the most important thing. Then top 2,000, top 3,000 to be rewarded. But of course, they can't really expect much from being in the top 2,000 or top 3,000.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I think those incentives for the new players are crucial. But I think they mentioned something that they're planning to change the leaderboard a little bit, so it's going to be based on I think league that you're in, instead of putting all players in the same basket. They thinking about putting players from different leagues to different leaderboards. What are you thinking about that?
I actually gave my opinion in the Lot Advisor group. So my thinking was we could have a league according to rarities. So because let's say for example, if a new player, most of the new players only have rare units, or even the most that they probably buy is probably epic units. So I was thinking that maybe we could have different leagues, right? Where you have rare leagues, epic leagues, legendary leagues. When I say this kind of leagues, meaning when rare league you only use rare units to play in that league. Then you will have a subsequent prize pool for that rare league itself. Same likewise for epic leagues and legend leagues. But legend leagues, there's two different kind of leagues that I think that should work. Because it depends on, first is, if let's say if I were to open a scholarship and to open 10 scholars to play in this league, it's not really worth for me as a manager to keep changing their units every maybe 2 weeks, depending on the meta, just to ensure that they hit the top 50 or the top 10, because it's going to be a lot of money spent. And then it's not, and the ranks what they might get is not guaranteed as well. So there should be a league that is specifically for scholars, where it's not have a, I mean, you won't have a major prize pool like the main league, but at least a prize pool where scholars are winning. Hey, at least these are the bunch of people that I can fight with, and I know that they won't have OP units like the main players up there. At least I still have a chance to fight them, even though I have a level 30 unit, but the perks are like shit, those two common perks.
Yeah.
But it's still playable. Yeah. So That's what I actually said in the advisory group. I think most of them didn't want it that way, so I'm not too sure what they want exactly.
It's hard to satisfy everyone, isn't it? Because sometimes you're trying to, get an idea out, and then other people have ideas, but then it's hard to mix those ideas and come up with something that will satisfy everyone. Because on the end of the day, everyone has their own plans and ideas, and they're thinking of something different completely to what we would like to see.
That's true.
Hard to satisfy everyone. I guess that's the problem with the word. That's the beauty of us as well. Everyone is different. Everyone has different ideas. So I think the team needs to they quite listening to the players, and they quite listening to Lords. So that is a good sign. But sometimes I think they just focusing too much on giving us new skins instead of what we actually need now. I know it's not.
I mean, skins is definitely. Yeah, I mean, skin is definitely good, but probably not at this juncture where we would probably need it at all. I think the team goal is also to attract Web 2 players. However, Web 2 players are a bit tricky because most of these Web 2 players usually has an agenda against Web 3. Thinking, oh, Web 3, crypto, NFT, I should stay away from it. It's technically quite hard to onboard Web 2 players. Web 2 players are players that actually don't really look for, how do I say, returns. They are more of like, hey, I just want to play this game, I want to have fun. As long as it kills my time, I'm happy at the end of the day, it's good for me.
Yeah.
That's why games like League of Legends, Dota, all this Web 2 where you just see people spending rather than, hey, I want to make money from this game.
But to be honest,
so it's totally two different kind of.
Yeah, to be honest, I was one of those players, and I was thinking sometimes, playing just Web 2 games, it's fun. I'm not gonna lie, it's fun to play, but eventually you just get bored because you buy a new game, you're playing for some time, you're thinking cool, then you're going again, Steam, Epic Games, whatever. You're buying another game because it looks cool, and then at some point you're realizing that the games are not there anymore, and you're just thinking of something different, something more competitive, and that's where I think Web3 is coming into play. Because obviously, those people currently are not thinking about investments, as you said, and they're not thinking about returns on putting money into the game. But when you think about it, sometimes they pay $50, $100 for just a game to play, where they could have put that $50 or $100 into a project like Wild Forest and start playing and start earning some some returns on that. So, in my opinion, I didn't know about Web3 gaming at all to about 12 months ago. I didn't know that something like Web3 existed. So I was completely out of the picture. And then I thought my brother introduced me to Web3, even though he's not playing. But then I realized that this is different kind of gaming. It builds bigger community, and it builds a group of people that actually not only play, but they communicate with each other on a daily basis. So you're actually building community that is very close to each other, and we actually talk every day on Discord. So this is different, in my opinion, to Web 2, because in Web 2 you will have a couple of friends that you play usually with. You will talk to them, but it's different kind of community, in my opinion.
Yeah, of course. The only thing about Wild Forest that differentiates compared to most Web3 games that I've noticed is that it's actually quite fast paced. It's on mobile. It's on PC as well, and you have the concept of 7 units fighting each other. You got different units that are playable, different perks that are playable, more units that might actually come in, and there's a potential land gameplay there. So that's the reason why I feel Wild Forest is actually one of the best game in the Ronin network wise.
Yeah,
it's completely new. There's no similar game out there. that's the reason why after my friend actually introduced me to it, I got hooked instantly because I used to play Mobile Legend. So how Mobile Legend works is actually on the phone, and you have 5 players fighting each other. You have a team A and team B. Both team have 5 players. This unit, I would say heroes have different skills of what they can do, and then eventually you have this clash, and whoever wins this clash and destroy the other one's base is where you get the winner. So it's roughly the same with War Forest. Is the only difference is that it's only one player.
Yeah.
Compared to your 5 players. So I mean, of course, if War Forest is able to make 2v2 or 3v3, that would be interesting. But I'm still satisfied with the 1v1. But this game have a lot of potential if they can meet the Web3 demands. As long as they are able to get a Web3 advisor who are able to guide them through these Web3 issues, I think the Web2 side is actually more fixed already. They are actually doing well in terms of gameplay and game wise. Just that more of tokenomics and burning rate, economy kind of things, they are just lacking on.
Yeah, 100%. With I think they making the journey as they go. Sometimes I know they very very experienced in building games because they had the Mushroom Wars. So they very focused on building the game, but I'm not sure how many projects did they have. Is Wild Forest the only project that they have in the Web3 space? Do you know?
Yeah, if I'm not wrong, they only have Wild Forest. They didn't have any other Web3 games.
Yeah. So I think they just in my looks like they just starting their journey. So they learning as they go as well. Maybe they don't have someone who is very, very experienced.
The thing about Wild Forest is very unique compared to most running games. I give you for example for Hydro. Hydro is a very Web3 company. From how do you see how they market their game and how they come out with their challenges, how they do AMAs and how they do their market, basically the whole marketing of Hydro. So for most Web3 games that I notice is they always paint a picture or paint a story, or this is how it goes, this is the promises, this is the dreams of what Hydro would be in the future. Rather than let's build the game first, then see how you guys like about the game, then we'll proceed from there. But Wild Forest is more of, okay guys, this is the game, you play,
you let us know.
Let us know what's the issues, what's the bugs, we market it later. Yeah. So that's the challenges that we are facing right now, is that we have a very good game, but we don't have players to join the game.
Yeah, that's the main issue at the moment, because we have the players that are in the game since the beta seasons. So we just need to onboard more players to Wild Forest. So guys, if you're still not playing Wild Forest, I'll include the links in description as always. Join in. You're starting with basic team, but you can progress very quickly, and you can still get some stuff from the battle pass. Obviously, we don't know still if the premium battle pass is going to be like previous 2 seasons. You're going to be able to get it with Essence, but that's in my opinion, that's a good way of getting the premium battle pass and getting some extra units in and some skins and all the other stuff. Also, Wild Forest tokens, if they're going to be included. I'm not sure. I didn't even look if we have any Wild Forest token this time in a battle pass. But I'll have a look. All right. What are you thinking about the new packs that are for the leaderboards packs?
I think it's great. I think it's great for me, but some might say biased because I got the 20,000 diamonds. But I think it's okay. I didn't really think too much about it because to me, hey, I hit my target, I hit the top 5. This is what I'm rewarded with. Then let's see what I can do with the rewards. So most of my packs I actually opened. Some I sold them for units for the current season. So I don't really have a big feeling about it. Maybe it could be more rewarding towards the later end of the top 1,000, or maybe it could give more fixed tokens rather than too much of a
Gotcha.
gamble.
Yeah.
But like I said, I can't say much because I actually hit the jackpot. So
Yeah, you hit the jackpot. Well, congrats on that one. That's a very good one. I still have, I think I got like 26 packs, but I don't have any silver ones or gold ones because I finished on like 890th place in the last season. So I was barely making it to the 1000. But I opened few of them and I got like 100 tokens from the copper one. So I was just thinking, well, it's a good one. The copper one currently stands on like 2.3 run, I think, on the market. So when you're getting, for a couple of dollars, you're getting 100 tokens. Of course, there's a chance of not getting anything from the copper ones, but still, I think, if you're thinking about getting some Wild Forest tokens, I think that's the best way at the moment for the new players.
I mean, they can use these specs to, for example, unlock premium battle pass, or they can unlock these specs to merge their own units. So it's a good way to introduce these specs to new players, especially those that actually missed the airdrop seasons where they couldn't get any more Wild Forest tokens anymore. So yeah, packs is actually one of those ways to actually reintroduce to the economy, so these players can actually get it. But maybe because of there's no TGE yet, so there's a lot of hesitance of buying things like units, packs,
Yeah.
lots. Yeah, so actually the answer is actually TGE, but we won't know until they release the date.
Yeah, I think we're all waiting for the TG, and every day, whenever I go to Discord, I can always see when, and it's like a wave coming down always every single day. I think Francesco is probably fed up with when word, and he's probably have nightmares about this when TG. But I think they're getting ready. They said they said like September time this is gonna happen. So I don't know where we stand at this point. I know there hasn't been any announcements since.
Yeah, they did mention end of September, or end of September. I guess you just have to wait then.
Yeah, I guess that's the problem sometimes, the waiting part. I think we're just not very patient when it comes to waiting for big news. Okay.
Yeah, because TG has been delayed for actually quite some time. I think the last one was mentioned on July, if I'm not wrong. So I think that's why people are getting more and more impatient, specifically because the game is not progressing in terms of market-wise. I think that's the major hiccup from our side. But let's just wait for it then.
That's it. That's the only thing we can do at the moment. All right. So I'm usually asking people. I did ask Shedra as well. I think I did ask Guillotine as well. What would you say the price of Wild Forest token is gonna be? Just give me your guess.
I feel it's roughly around the 0.5 to $1 range. I mean, at the start, of course, whether it goes down, I'm not too sure, but it's roughly, I think it will be 0.5 to $1.
That's a good guess. I think it's gonna be quite around. I think many players are hoping for $1 to 5, whatever, but to be absolutely realistic, I would say 0.4 in my opinion. That is gonna be somewhere around where we're gonna end up with Wild Forest token. I hope I'm gonna be wrong, and this goes beyond anyone's dreams, but we have to be realistic, I think.
I mean, if token is $5, I mean, making a legendary is gonna take $500.
Yeah. Right. As a top player, what advice would you give to the players trying to make a mark in Wild Forest community?
You mean how will they climb in the leaderboards? You mean?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think there's a lot of misconceptions about the game. especially for new players, because when we started in P2 Play 2 Airdrop Season 1 and Play 2 Airdrop Season 2, there was a lot of there wasn't a lot. There was three kind of gameplays that actually exist at that point of time. Whether there's any different units. So there was the triple barracks, where you actually quickly summon three barracks and rush with tier 1 units. Then the second gameplay is rushing ninjas, where you actually immediately rush your barracks upgrade and go for a ninja play, where your ninja will quickly rush to the opponent's units. And then the third gameplay is rushing tanks, where they completely ignore their surrounding areas and quickly upgrade to tanks, so that these tanks will slowly take on the place that they need to and overpower them by tier 3 damage. So I actually advise in the advisors chat that to reduce the energy given to us at the start, because this kind of gameplays were fixed since, I don't know, since season 1, I guess. So that's why it got boring to me. Yeah, so it got boring to me, where everyone will be using, let's use skeletons to rush, let's use ninjas to rush, let's use tanks to rush. Then there will be probably no other units available to play. So because of that nerf, there's a lot of changes in this season. Snipers start to come out, gliders start to come out, more units that don't usually play are starting to come out. For example, Stormcats also. Reason being is because now it's harder to rush ninja. You are getting punished for rushing ninjas because ninja is weaker right now. The energy that you have to start also is weaker right now. So going back to the point that for new players, when they start out of how to play this game, they should actually research, follow the OGs, what are they playing and how are they playing. Because you have 7 units, and these 7 units have different kind of utilities. Some are able to fly, some are able to hit range, some are just melee splash. So there's a reason why, for example, certain teams are built accordingly. For example, if I play 2 gliders and 1 archer, or I play 2 gliders or 1 toad, then people will be thinking, why do you need so much unit? Why do you need 2 gliders? Some gliders might be specific to range. Splash. Some gliders might be specific to 1 unit. So there's a lot of thinking process out there, but I don't want to bore them. I don't want to bore them with all these details. But the main essential key point for new players is actually to learn from the OG players. I mean, there are some players who are streaming in Discord. You guys can watch them. Second thing is investment of these units. I would say, okay, for my personal take, what I will prefer to do is I like to buy units or invest in units at the start, and then at the end of the season, close to the end of the season, I will sell them. Reason being for why I'm doing that is because I feel whatever I play will be meta, and I will sell to those players who are rushing to get the end points, so that I can get my bag to push for the next season.
Yeah.
Because I highly likely know that whatever that I'm playing right now with, right, will get nerfed before the season end. So that's why I will do this kind of method, so that I can sustain my own self pushing for the next season. I won't really be like hybrid, keep so much units, to prepare for all seasons. I don't really believe in that, because I'll have units rotting around. That's one of the issues, and I don't really like that. We are basically going into the dark, where there's how much of a nerf or how much a buff for a unit is. All these thing into places lah. So for those new players, I would suggest maybe buy 4 or 5 units. I think that's honestly enough to push yourself up there. You don't need a super good tank. You don't need a super good tier 2 unit. The most important is a tier 1 units. I think this is the key point of how you're gonna push far. Tier 1 units are the units that's the cheapest cost and the highest damage possible. Yeah.
Okay, amazing advices. Sometimes I think we're focusing too much on tier 2 units, because we're thinking building those barracks level 2, and creating those units. Of course, they have some advantages, like you said, but main thing, and the game can finish quickly with only tier 1 units. So you don't have to spend 10 minutes playing the entire game. You can finish it in less than 3 minutes, sometimes 2 minutes. Yeah, when you're playing well and you have a good strategy, really.
Yeah. I mean, for my own personal team, my tier 1 units are one of the strongest that you can have. So most of the games that I play actually just ended up with me using tier 1 units and tier 2 units. Yeah, around there. I my tier 3 unit is actually a level 10 tank, so I don't even use it. I just put it there to just show my legendary skill.
To be honest, that's kind of funny, because everyone would assume that you already have all level 30s.
Nah, that's what because of my previous units that I used last season, I sold them. I sold them to get some RON so that I can go to the next season to prepare for the next season. So I actually sold and invested in my this current season. Likewise, I'm gonna do for next season and next season onwards. The same thing. I'll just keep doing the same thing. You won't see me holding too much units. To be frank, it's either I will make my own units or I'll probably look at the market and see, oh, this unit is gonna get buffed. Seeing from the updates, I think I will visualize and think like, oh, this unit might be the key point to my team. So I'll probably might pay a bit more for this unit. So other than that, I probably won't spend much. But
Okay.
if everyone is thinking that, hey, you must have like a good amount of money to invest in a very good team. Actually, it's not really true, because this season I actually spent less than 300 RON for my whole team,
That's
which
not
I
too
can
bad.
probably sell one of the unit. Yeah, I can probably sell one of my unit for more than 300 RON if I wanted to, because right now is one of the strongest. But I'm honestly waiting for the end of the season because
Yeah.
there's a lot of players offering for my units. But I don't want to sell it now. I want to put it first, then I'll probably sell it at the end.
So we recently had the castles come out. What are you thinking about the castles and how they work currently?
I honestly find it okay. I think a lot of players or a lot of people were complaining about the training time wise that is too long, which I agree to a certain extent. But of course, if we're thinking about economy wise, we don't want too many 30 level. I mean level 30s coming out too fast. So I think that being long is a good point actually. But of course, the team uh, should give us a way to how to increase the speed of this training. If you say burning more Wild Force tokens to get an instant level 30, I think that's fine. Uh, because there are some units that I feel, for example, let's say if I were to train a level 30, I mean a level 1 legendary unit right now, and I train this unit is because I feel like, hey, this unit might be a potential good unit for this season. But if I train it and expect it to be level 30 in maybe 2 or 3 seasons, then there's no point of training this unit from the start.
Yeah, because that
You get what I
unit
mean?
might be not
So
as good anymore.
exactly. So that's why they should put a system where, hey, why not you spend 1,000 Wild Force tokens and you get instant level 30 right now, something like that. Then I'm thinking it should be good for the economy wise, because you are burning Wild Force tokens for a level 30 unit that might potentially be good or not good. It's just being on your own evaluation, but I think that should happen. And the training level rate should be according to rarity of lots. So let's say if I have a Mystic, training unit should be faster compared to a legendary unit or maybe a epic unit, epic lot. So I think that's one of the things that the team can do.
Yeah, I agree absolutely. Even though I'm not gonna be happy because I have an epic load only. But yeah,
It's
but I
not
think
epic
it's a
and rare.
good point, because obviously Mystic load holders and legendary is above the level of epic, and there should be certain, or maybe the idea of leveling up your castle so you can train your unit faster. But then, for example, Mystic Castle could be upgraded to level 15, Legendary to level 10, and Epic to level 5, for example, or something like that. That will just give you some extra benefits as a higher rarity than just a normal rare lord. But yeah, I think that's a good idea, because obviously those times are quite long. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes, but I think I've put my skeleton to be upgraded, and then when I saw 5 days, I thought, well, that is some time to wait. But then I thought, at least I don't have to check that every single day, because I know it's gonna take like nearly a week. So at least I don't have to sit here all the time just thinking, did I upgrade my units? Did I not? How long is it gonna take? I know it's a couple of days now, so I can just let it relax and upgrade it.
Yeah. Like my current strategy right now is actually airships
Airship,
or
yeah.
gunship.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have 12 camps, so I'm training 12 rare units, hopefully to get level 9, so I can merge all of them to level 30.
No, that's a
That's
good
the
plan.
current
That's a
that's the
really
current
good plan.
plan.
Especially when we don't have any shards coming. Oh, I think you have shards coming in for because you reached the league, but there's many players that haven't reached that league yet, so they're not getting any shards for even burners or airships. The castles can be quite helpful with that when it comes to leveling up.
Yeah, but of course, all these things are no rush.
Yeah.
I won't expect the team to rush this kind of utility. I think we should let them focus on TGE first.
Yeah, but it's nice they came up with the castles, because we've been waiting for something. So at least they gave us something they promised, because the castles were promised at some point. Because I think Francesco even asked us what would you like to see as a next thing, and everyone just gave the idea, like, we want to see the castles in the first place, and then they focused on those castles and they did deliver them, even with a slight delay, but they did hold their word, and they gave us what they promised, really. So that's a good sign. I hope they're gonna do the same with TGE. I hope we're not gonna get any more extensions like next year. I wouldn't like to see that.
I honestly doubt so that you will appear. I mean, TGA will come next year. Probably latest. I mean, okay, earliest end of September. Latest probably mid of October. That's what I personally expect. Other than that, I will only see the game dying because the amount of players will probably drop. Yeah,
Yeah.
will probably drop. So honestly, maybe max I will expect is mid October.
Yeah, I think we can see decline even in the Discord now. Like, we have, I think we've been over 80,000 players, and I think we're just dropping to like 79k now. So I think you can even see decline in Discord currently on Wild Forest, which is just quite sad to see, because the game is truly amazing. It's probably one of the best mobile games that I've played so far, and I did spend a lot of time playing games, especially on a mobile phone, because I'm a lorry driver. So on my breaks, nothing better to do than just play games on the phone, because obviously there's not much to do when you're sitting down in a lorry. So there's plenty of time to play.
That's true.
All right, I just want to ask you as well, because I've been asking many people, what kind of unit? I think we even have a channel now on Discord about this. What kind of unit would you like to see the team come up with? Something that will just make the game even more engaging.
I would personally like a unit that can change forms. For example, when you summon this unit, it may be a range mode, but then when you click this unit, you are able to change form to maybe a melee mode. That's what I personally will find interesting for a unit that can do. Because right now we have seen flying units, ground units, units that have AoE, units that can splash. because of perks and all that. But I don't think we haven't seen a unit that can change form, or even a unit that can summon more units, like a necromancer,
Yeah.
for example. I think that would be quite unique. Um,
I think the
yeah,
guillotine
I think
also
necromancer sounds
mentioned
good.
necromancer or something, some summoner unit that can summon like a minions. I think the guillotine also mentioned that.
Yeah,
Yeah, it would be a
yeah.
nice unit.
But I honestly personally like a unit that can transform into something else,
Yeah,
which might
yeah.
be more complicated, but it sounds good.
I mean, it would add a certain level of gameplay that you have to learn, and you need to get yourself into knowing this unit well to be able to play it. Because if it's gonna change forms, you might have different ways of attacking, different ways of moving, and everything. So yeah, good idea, really good idea to actually get something like that. I don't know, in the development side, I have no idea how they will come up with that, because I think coding part of it might be slightly more difficult than just a normal regular unit, but I think it's doable. I think the team they have quite a good team of developers, so I guess they can manage that. All right. All right. Uh, can you tell us as a person, what are your hobbies outside of Web3, Web2 gaming in general? What do you like to do outside of gaming?
Cool. Uh, okay, so honestly, for the past thing, okay, after since my esports career, I've been working a lot. Other than working, I've been only just been playing games, playing normal games like Valorant, League of Legends, Dota. So I don't personally have a very unique hobby. My hobby is just to play games, watch movies. I think it's just like normal people that currently have.
Regular
I think
stuff
other than
like
that,
we always do.
not much. Yeah, just playing games and
Where
watching
do you
movies.
live currently? Do you move a lot, or do you stay in one place?
No, I stay in one place. Singapore is too small to even move around. There's not nothing else to really do in Singapore. Of course, unless you have money. If you are rich, yeah, there's a lot of things to do. But in Singapore, in general, there is no say countryside to visit. There is no rural area to see sceneries, etc. So Singapore is more of a city. If you want to enjoy, it's probably you're gonna have to have a lot of money to do good activities. Other than that, yeah, that's why I'm going overseas next month to enjoy my life there rather than stay in Singapore for too long.
I mean, to be honest, I live close to London, and I'm not gonna lie to you. There's not much scenery in here. You have to drive into the middle of the country to actually see something nice. There's some nice places, but you have to drive quite a bit to see the coastline or see some nice parks or some natural life in general. But yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah,
Living close to the city is not my dream, to be honest. I would love to live in a shed somewhere in the forest to just dump me in there and I can live there. Amazing, man. Let me just get you one more question. Um, in general, what would be your dream country to move into and live?
in general, what country? I think probably will be Japan.
Nice place.
Japan or probably New Zealand. I think I have more. I'm more towards uh, places that are first things first safe. Second thing is the scenery or what the country can provide us. Uh, but yeah, but mainly more scenery where I can actually go on a road trip and go and travel, see different places, see different kind of views, see mountains, see rivers. So I think New Zealand and Japan fits these places lah.
Yeah, I
So
think
those are two countries.
I used to live in Australia, and I'm not gonna lie, it's a nice countries out there. New Zealand, Australia, it's a nice places to visit. I haven't been in Japan. It's my dream to go as well. So maybe if Wild Forest token goes well, then we can go. We're waiting for that TGE still.
Yeah, I'm actually going Japan next month, so that's why I won't be grinding so much Wild Forest next month.
Oh, so probably whoever is watching in top 10 now, then that's your chance to get somewhere higher, because Nashi is taking all the good spots in the top 10. So that's a good news for your opponents.
I mean, I still can sell them units, so if they are interested, they can buy units from me.
Yeah. So guys, if you're looking for some legendary units, you know the place where to go, and the good ones, of course. All right, man. Thank you very much for joining the podcast. It's been a pleasure to meet you, and it's been a pleasure talking to you. Well, we're waiting for that TGE to happen. Hopefully, we're gonna be able to meet again and play those private matches when they come into play. Because obviously that is in plans, but we still don't know how long that is gonna take.
Yeah. I think with private battles will make everyone stronger. Definitely will make everyone stronger because we get to try out units that are hidden, especially. I mean, personally, before a season start, I would try to hide my units as much as possible. I don't want people to see what I'm playing. Think of a strategy to counter what my units are. But I would like to have scrims as well. Scrims are basically meaning I can choose to fight 1, 4, 3, 7, 100 games, and just to improve both our gameplays. So that definitely will be a good utility for us. Hopefully in the near future, but TGE first. TGE is more important.
TGE first. That's TGE. I think we need to start shouting this every day on the Discord channel. Everyone should be adding also Francesco to it, saying TGE, and then eventually we will get it. Ryman, thank you very much once again for joining. Thank you very much, guys, for watching, and see you in the next episode.
Thank you.